Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Michelle, and here on my channel I do weekly cash stuffing and budgeting videos. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, please subscribe so you don't miss when I post a new video. So today we're doing my budget with me for November week 2. So yeah, if you guys are new, I do 2 cash stuffings every single week. The first one is with my husband's income. He covers all of our living expenses. And the second one is my income, and I cover all of our debt. So that being said, we're doing my husband's income, and we are working with $550 for the week. So yeah, before I start, I just want to mention that my husband owns his own business, and that is how he brings home cash from the company home every month. That's how he brings home his money, and then I cash stuff it, obviously. That being said, he owns his business with his brother. And his brother is the one that we are renting our house from, that we are finally in here. So we're renting his house. And so he is taking $2,000 out of what we bring home before we even get the money. So that's why it is less than it usually is, because that's how we're paying our rent. And you're not going to see rent being budgeted for because it gets taken out before we even take our money home, if that makes sense. So I don't even have to worry about it. So yeah, we are working with $550 for everything else. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing we have is my bills. So these are bills that are due every single month. And the first one we have is internet, and that is getting $40 for the week. And next we have water is going to get $45. So all of these are for last month's bills. This isn't for the bill for this house. So these are all for the last house. And so these are going to be changing next month. But yeah, I do still owe money from the last month's bills. Just the way that I don't know. I have a hard time explaining things. Anyways, electricity is getting $55. Home gas is getting $25. Child support is getting $65. So if you guys are new, my husband has 4 kids with his ex-wife, and only one of them is not living here with us, and he is 14, and that's the one we pay child support on. And then subscriptions is getting $25 for now. I have to really go through our subscriptions and figure out what we are paying and what we don't need to have. So yeah, anyways, that is another time because I have to get all of these budgets and cash stuffings done because I have to go to the bank today and pay some bills. But yeah, this comes to $255. Next up, we have high priority sinking funds. So these ones are bills that are not due every single month. The first one being my phone bill. So we have Mint Mobile, and now we have 5 lines on our phone plan, but they're not all due at the same time. So I'm going to keep it at $20 a week and kind of just see how that goes. Next up is trash, and that's getting $10 a week, and that's due every 3 months. Car insurance is due every 6 months, and I put $80 a week. Car registration is $15 a week. This one's obviously annually. Medical and dental is as needed. So I'm putting $100 in here. We don't have medical insurance. And so I just pay this as needed. Or I try to stuff it so it's good. I do have dentist appointments coming up in December for, I think, 2 of my boys. And then my son, my 5-year-old, he started school for the first time in September, and he got sick, and then he got better, and then he got sick again, and he had a fever for like a week, and it would go away during the day, but then it would come like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. It would come back to like 103, 104, and I was getting really concerned about him. I was worried about pneumonia, and so I took him into the doctor, and I told him, like, I'm concerned it could be pneumonia. And he checked him and he said it's possible. So he gave him an x-ray, and sure enough, he had pneumonia. So the office visit was like $230, I want to say. The antibiotics were only like $16. So like, honestly, having no medical insurance doesn't necessarily have to break the bank. Like, if you don't go all the time, it's easy to save for. However, the x-ray, that I know is going to be very expensive. I know they gave me a discount for being a cash pay patient for the office visit. I don't know if they're going to do the same for the x-ray. They didn't tell me how much it was going to be. They are going to send me the bill. So we'll figure that out when that comes. But we're putting $100 a week in for this month. And then lastly in here we have our storage unit, which is getting $40 a week. And this one is going to be the last time we're paying this because we officially have everything out of the storage unit into our new house. And yeah, we don't need it anymore. So we're going to end up canceling it, but you know, we have to pay for the whole month still. So we are going to make this our last month paying it. And then the last, so this comes to $265. And lastly, we have our low priority sinking funds, which are ones that I will stuff if I can. If I can't, then I can't. But the first one is hair. So this is for haircuts for my boys. And I have 2 boys in school, well 3, but my stepson is working and he pays for his own haircuts. So 2 of my boys are in school. My oldest is in 3rd grade and my middle is in kindergarten. And so they're going to need to get frequent haircuts, and I'm doing $10 a week. My youngest is only 2, so he gets haircuts just as needed. He does need one soon. His hair is starting to get in his eyes and he's like pushing it. So it's time for a haircut. But yeah, my older boys are the ones that need to be like kept up on. They seem totally fine right now. So I'm thinking they have another like solid month before we have to like get them haircuts. And then next I have savings. So I'm doing $20 a week towards savings. So this is for like an emergency fund, like cash on hand emergency fund, because I don't have anything. And the past like 3 or 4 months, I have had to empty out all of my buffers in order to come up with some kind of emergency cash that I needed. So instead of emptying out all of my buffers, I'm going to try to actually have a legitimate emergency fund cash on hand. So we are working towards that. Last month I could only do $10 a week. This month I'm doing $20 a week. So we are improving. Maybe next month I'll do more. I don't know. But this comes to $30, and that comes to a total of, we got bills for $255, and then we got high priority sinking funds for $265, and then low priority sinking funds for $30. And this is a total of $550, which is what we were working with for the week, so that's perfect. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.